Today, we're going to be making a turtle. We're going to start with a piece of clay that we tear in half. Half means to make it into two pieces that are about the same size. This one feels a little smaller, so I'm going to take a pinch of my bigger one and smush it with my smaller one. I'm using my strong stop sign hands. That means I'm keeping my fingers as tight together as possible as I squeeze it. Squeezing them to get them into spheres. Sphere is a 3D circle. Ball is another word for sphere. One of them should be the same size as this sphere on the page. I'm going to set it there. And the other one, I'm going to turn into 3 coils. So I now have to rip it into thirds. Thirds means 3 pieces about the same size. That feels pretty good. So I'm going to put 2 of them down, use my stop sign hands, this time going in this direction, back and forth, to make a coil. My fingers need to stay strong and stuck together. I want my coil to be even all the way across and about the same size as the ones on the paper. I'm going to get the next one. If you accidentally make your coil skinny on one side and too thick on another, you can fix it by just only rolling on the thick side. And then if it becomes too long, like this one's getting long and skinny there, I can roll it up and then roll it again. Now, the more you play with the clay, like the more you move it around in your hands, the more cracks it's going to get. And those aren't terrible, but we would like to avoid them. So don't use this any more than you need to. Just use it to get it to the shapes you want it and then stop. You don't want to just keep rolling it around for fun. Okay, I've got my sphere and my 3 coils. The sphere is going to become the turtle's shell. So I want to put texture on it. And I got some different ways you could do texture. This one was the bottom of the shoe I'm wearing. You could step on your clay. So you can put it on the ground, on a mat, and step on it with your shoe. You could also use some fabric or a texture plate. This is a crochet doily. So whatever you pick for your texture, you can press it in. So I'm pressing it into this burlap, and it's going to create that texture. I have some other ones over here. This one was from pressing it into the doily. Here's another one from my shoe that I'm wearing. This was from that plastic texture plate. And the final way is you can carve into it with a tool or press into it. So this was pressing like that and like that and like that. And this was kind of like drawing but carving some shapes into it. Okay, so I'm gonna take this one that I made with my burlap and do my next step. So here's the next steps. I'm gonna turn the texture side upside down, because that's gonna be the top of my shell. And then on the bottom, I'm gonna attach my coils. So I'm using a toothbrush to kind of score and slip. Score means make the clay rough and textured, kind of like Velcro, and slip is adding the water. Those two things together will help this stay strong in the kiln. So if I now use this finger and smooth it out, that's the third helpful way to keep this from breaking. So scoring, slipping, and smoothing. So I've got one attached. I'm going to do those steps again. Toothbrush, lay this here, smooth it in. There we go. And one more. So if I don't do this, if I just press them in, it might feel like they're going to stay, but when it cooks in the kiln and it gets really hot, it's going to shrink a little. And if they're not properly attached, when they shrink, they'll separate and all the pieces will pop apart. And you won't have a full turtle. You'll have a shell separate from your coils. So after I do that, I'm going to flip it back over. I'm going to move this so you can see what I'm doing a little better. Now I have to decide what's my head and what are my legs and my tail. So first I think I'm going to pick this to be my head. And so I'm going to lift it up a little. Actually, I want this one to be my head. It's a little bigger. I'm going to lift it upward. And then that means the one straight across from it's going to be the tail. I've got some turtles over here to look at. Turtles seem to have these pointy tails. I'm going to use my pinchers and make it pointy. I'm going to give them some eyes. I'm going to use my tool and poke some eyes. I can also use my tool to poke a mouth. And you could be done just like this, but I want to give them some toes. Pressing down for toes. And the last thing, which I should have done before I flipped him over for my details, I almost forgot about it, is my name. So you're going to, on this flat part on the back, you're going to carve in your name. All right. Happy turtle making.